Hi. I'm a bit early, as in a day early, because normally I do this on a Thursday. But I'm going out. I'm going out tomorrow. There's a fundraiser for Macmillan Cancer that I'm going to, because obviously that's close to my heart. So I'm going to go to that. Ecam's being silly again. If you're watching this on Ecam, please let it know that it's okay for you to be here. I'm also going live on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, then feel free to pop over there. It's Sort Your Shizzle Out. Just search for that on Instagram and then give me a follow, because I do tend to do things on there that I don't do on Facebook, and vice versa. So hello to Instagram as well as hello on Facebook. So I was given a wonderful title by somebody. I always do a post at the beginning of the week. Well, I don't always. I've started to. Asking if there's any topics that you want me to cover in these lives. And I was given a wonderful topic that it took me a while to get my head around, but that just could be me. And it was, could you do something about accepting yourself by yourself? And I was thinking, okay, accepting yourself, that's a really good topic, and I've been doing a lot of work around that, accepting ourselves and, you know, looking at our strengths and weaknesses and all that sort of stuff. But when I read it, accepting yourself by yourself, I was a bit confused by it, but I think I've worked it out, and I hope for whoever it was that requested this topic, I don't want to give any names out, that this is right and this is what you wanted me to cover, but I'm going to go for it. So for me, it's about understanding, acknowledging and embracing who you are as an individual on your own, without having to have external validation to kind of cement that for you. So I love this because I'm all for doing things for ourselves. Self-love, self-worth, self-esteem, self-gratitude, self, anything that starts with a self, because I think that's where everything starts. It all starts with us. So if we can build our own self-esteem and build our own self-confidence and our own self-worth without depending on or relying on external validation, then to me that's a win-win, because we can't lose it then. If we're always looking externally for recognition and validation, it says that there's 2 people watching this. So thank you, and let me know if you want me to answer anything in the comments. But if we're constantly looking for external validation for this, it can go at any point. If we do this ourselves and we work on our self-esteem and our self-worth and everything, I was actually talking about this with a client just a couple of hours ago, then it's kind of like nothing sticks. It's kind of like we've got Teflon, and whatever comes at us, it just slides straight off, because inside we know that we are worthy. We know that we are, you know, okay, warts and all. And for me, I think that's really, really important. So, you know, it's about us being comfortable in our own skin, which for a lot of us, I'm sure it's not just me, this is something that I've been struggling with. It's like my hair now. Since chemo, I have no idea what this is doing at all. Every morning I get up and I try to style it in some sort of way, and it's just doing its own thing. I'm colouring it, I'm going for a different colour in the hopes that will style it somehow. But I need to learn to just accept that this is the new me. If you've been following me for quite a while, you will know that sort of 18 months ago, I had long blonde hair. Obviously, it wasn't natural because my natural colour is quite dark. But it was long, and then it all went. And this is the new me that I need to learn to accept and embrace. My body isn't the same as what it used to be. I posted, if you've not seen it, if you're watching on any of the Sort Your Shizzle Out pages, I did a little snippet of a podcast that I thought was quite relevant. I do a podcast with my mentor, Bob Cook. It's called The Therapy Show Behind Closed Doors. So you can have a look at that and have a listen. But I did a little clip, and it was filmed probably about 2 years ago. And if you look at this clip that's up there, it doesn't look anything like me. I was a lot chunkier, let's say. I had blonde hair, my hair was long and everything. But it's kind of weird looking at that person now, you know, and I need to accept this new body, this new me, and I'm learning to do that. So I think this topic is quite apt for me, and hopefully it is for you as well. Feel free to comment on any of this. So the first step is to get to know yourself. Who am I? Who are you? What are your beliefs and your values? And I know I've spoke about this before, but sometimes we just kind of go with the flow. We don't question our values and our beliefs and the things that we think are important or anything like that. Somebody's put like me sober. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. If you want to elaborate, that's fine. But, you know, who are you? And, you know, the values and the beliefs that you have, are they actually yours, or are they things that you've inherited from your parents or from your past and your upbringing or your peers or whatever? It's kind of like sometimes we support a football team purely because that football team was the one that our parents supported or our brothers supported or whatever it is. So we just support them without really giving it much thought. And I'm not saying change the football team that you support, because I know there's somebody in particular in my private membership that would leave the membership if I asked her to support another football team, because she's you know, red through and through. She is that colour through and through. But, you know, some of our values and beliefs don't actually belong to us. We didn't make a conscious choice. They were kind of just thrust upon us. So it's interesting sometimes just to have a think about that. So, you know, this topic, accepting yourself by yourself, is really about looking at who we are in our rawest form. Sober Ginty, I'm getting to know who I am again. Well done. Yeah, it doesn't come up who it is. It just says Facebook user, so I didn't know it was you, Ginty. I do apologise. Yeah, you know, when we go through any sort of change or, you know, period in our life or whatever, I think it's good to just reassess where we are. Sometimes I think it can be difficult. We kind of think that we need to be the same all the time. This is who I am, so I need to stay the same, particularly as a business owner. You do branding and, you know, you've got a certain name. You know, obviously I don't change my name. It's still Jackie Jones, whatever I'm doing. But I went from... I used to be Change of Heart. That was one of the titles that I used to use. Then it was State of Mind. That was another one that I used. They're all based around mental health. Then it was, you know, Living Life Being Human. That was one. Now I'm Sort Your Shizzle Out. And every time I've kind of evolved into something different to what I was. The foundations and what's underneath it is always the same. It's always about self-care and it's always about mental health and all that sort of stuff, because I've been interested in that for a long time. Over 10 years now I've been working on this. I think my youngest, who's now 18 and a half, I think he was 18 months old when I first went on my first counselling course. So it's kind of 17-ish years that I've been working on this sort of stuff. So that's always been underneath it, but the business itself or how I perceive things have kind of evolved through experience and through time. So things have changed. So what can we do about, you know, this topic of accepting ourselves by ourselves without needing that external validation or somebody to validate or recognise us on what we're doing? So it's about embracing our imperfections, because believe it or not, I'm not sure whether you've ever heard this before, and I can whisper it if you want to, we all have imperfections. None of us are perfect. Me in particular. I don't even know what perfect is. I don't even know whether there is such a thing of perfection. We might have certain standards that we want to reach, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that even when we reach them, we'll probably want to do something else. I'm looking at Instagram because there's some messages coming through on Instagram. I find change hard, but had so many changes in the last few years. Exactly. And sometimes when they come thick and fast, or we're making, you know, big life changes, it can take us a while to adjust. And sometimes we've kind of got one foot in the past and one foot in the present, and we don't know which way we want to go. And it's about embracing everything that's in our here and now stuff. We can't replay the past. We can't go back into that past. Today is all that we've got. This moment is all that we've got. So sometimes it's about, girding our loins, or whatever that northern saying is, and just embracing whatever it is that we've got now, looking for positives. Something else that I've been talking about an awful lot with clients lately is that we're really good at the negative bias. We're really good at looking at the negative side of things, and we have to make a conscious effort a lot of the times to focus on the positives, because it doesn't come easy for us. Our survival doesn't depend on focusing on the positive and the good stuff. It depends on looking for negative things so that we know when something's going to go wrong, or something is going wrong. So it takes a conscious effort. Accepting ourselves and embracing our imperfections goes against the grain, because survival depends, survival of the fittest and all that sort of stuff. We need to be the best version of ourselves in order to survive. But it's getting more intense, as we go through the generations and everything. What does that mean, survival of the fittest now? Does that mean the one that's got the most money in the bank? Does that mean the one that attracts the best partner? What does being fit mean nowadays? I don't know. I'm certainly not the fittest. We won't go down that road. What else can we do? We can stop comparing our journey to others. Each life has its own rhythm and pace, and I love that. My rhythm and pace is very up and down. Sometimes I'm on it, I'm full in on it, and I can work from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night and be on the ball, and everything just flows. Other days I don't even want to get out of bed until 10 o'clock, and I certainly don't want to be sat at my computer or doing things, and that's okay. It's about not comparing myself to others, particularly in business. I've got friends that have got really, really successful businesses, way more successful than mine. And sometimes I can look at them and I can kind of think, oh, I could do that. And then other times it's like, I'm not even going to try, because one, they've already done it, and two, I'll never be as good as what they are. But that says more about me and my state of mind and where I am in that moment, and understanding and embracing the fact that it changes and it shifts, and that's absolutely fine. It's okay. There's only one version of me. That version of me might change on a day-to-day basis, but I am me. That this is as good as it gets. I can't be anybody else. I can't, do somebody else's journey. My journey is my journey, and I need to embrace that. Positive self-talk matters. Be your own cheerleader and replace negativity with affirmations. I've already touched on this, and I don't know if you've seen, but I have done a couple. I did it with the membership this week. If you're interested in my membership, by the way, then I'll post it in the comments after I've finished doing this when it goes up, because you can join the membership. It's $29.99 a month. We do a live every Sunday at 7 o'clock. You get discounts to all my courses when they come out. There are some free courses in there. There's a couple of meditations in there. You get a free private Facebook group. I share a lot more of myself with my members. You also get a special email that's just meant for the VIPs and everything. But affirmations and being your own cheerleader. I've been using affirmation cards. I bought these from a wonderful place that I learnt my Reiki in. I've had them for quite a while now, and I've just been picking them out at random. And it's all about, being positive. These are actually called the Power of Thought cards. So I'll pull you one out now and just see whether this resonates for you. Let's have a look. What have we got? Oh, like this one. I am flexible and flowing. Talking about, carving your own path and not following in somebody else's. I am open to the new and changing. Every moment presents a wonderful new opportunity to become more of who I am. I flow with life easily and effortlessly. Couldn't have picked a better one than that, could I? And it's all about, that ebb and flow, and noticing that sometimes you will be okay and sometimes you won't. Live authentically. Honour your values, passions and desires, and let them guide your life. Again, before we can do that, it's important, I think, that we know what they are, and that our values are our values. They're not something that we've inherited from our past. For me, I know if I'm going against my true beliefs and values because I feel uncomfortable when I'm doing something. It doesn't sit right for me. I use the 3 principles quite a lot in the work that I have. It's kind of overarching a lot of the stuff that I do. And what I will say to clients a lot of the time is look for a feeling. Get out of your logical head and the thinking space on, what I should be doing, what's right for me now, how much I should push all this sort of stuff, all this shoulds and ought to and I need to and all this sort of stuff. And just look for a feeling, because that's when we're connecting with our true self. If it feels right, then that's okay. I would listen to my feelings before I listen to my thoughts, and just make sure that the two are in the same place, if that makes sense. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would give to a friend. This is something I think that we don't do. Often I'll have clients that are really beating themselves up, the negative self-talk, all that negativity and everything. And they wouldn't dream of saying the things that they're saying to themselves in the head to the worst enemy, never mind, somebody that they know or somebody that they think anything of. So just be mindful of it and challenge any negative thoughts that you've got. Look for evidence. I always say take it to court. If, your thoughts are saying there's no way that you can ever do that, question it. Why not? If somebody else is doing it, then it's able to be done. Or somebody's putting on Facebook, on Instagram, guilty. Yeah, we're all guilty of it. And the one thing that I would say to all of you is that it's okay. I don't want you to beat yourself up if any of this stuff is stuff that you're doing. It's not about being critical. It's about noticing it, because when we notice it, then we can do something about it. And we will all be, and me included, will be guilty of this at certain times. When our state of mind and our consciousness isn't in a good place, we will all fall into our scripty stuff. We will all fall into that negative bias so much easier than when we're in a positive frame of mind. When we're tired, when we're ill, when we're overworked, when something's happened in the family, whatever it is, we're going to dip, and it's so easy to fall back into negative patterns of behaviour. So that's the time that you need to be compassionate with yourself. That's the time where you need to reach out, to people around you and get some support from like-minded people. It's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. This is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's okay to ask for help and support when we're not in a good place. If there's one thing I would say to anybody is, to do that more regularly. Because if you switch it round and look, if somebody came to you and said, look, I'm really struggling, I just need to sit down and have a cuppa with somebody and just have a chat to just offload, would you turn them away or think, oh God, they're a bit weak? God, no. You'd say, of course you can. I would imagine that the majority of people that follow me would open their arms and offer their support to those people, but yet we often find it difficult to say that out loud or to ask other people for help and support. Remember that self-acceptance doesn't mean resisting change. You're a work in progress, and that's okay. We don't need to stay. We can't stay the same. We're living, on the earth that is constantly turning and changing, and what is happening today will never be recreated again. Like this second it's gone and there's a new one coming. So whether we dig our heels in or not and we try to keep things the same, it's impossible. Things are always changing and evolving, and we need to accept that as part of the journey. Because it is a journey and not an event, as my mentor Bob Cook often says, which really winds me up sometimes, but it's absolutely true. So one of the things that I will do is I will put all of this and a bit more information in an email. If you're not on my email list, then I'll put a link in the comment as well, so you can sign up for that. I don't inundate you with emails. I'm pretty inconsistent unless you're in the membership, and I've only just started to be more consistent with that, to be perfectly honest. So I won't send you loads of stuff, and you know, there's always what I see as little nuggets of information in there that you might find useful, but I will put this information and more in the email, and I'll probably send it out over the weekend or maybe tomorrow. Yeah, and I will also put the link in for the membership if anybody's interested in joining the membership. We're a lovely bunch of ladies in there. It is only for ladies. I'm sorry if there are any men watching who want to come in, because of the general topics of conversation that we have. And I think it's a nice, safe, secure space for women to talk about things. There are lots of groups for men out there. Andy's Man Club is one that I think is really good. So yes, that's me. I'm done. If you've got any topics for next week's, I think it's on a Monday. I usually put up a little link so that you can recommend topics or suggest topics or things for me to cover. I'm more than happy to talk about anything. Yeah, and thank you, Ginty, for being on the live with me, and thank you for Trish, who's on Instagram. I'm going to go now. I haven't had my tea yet, so I'm going to go and have my tea. I shall speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.